certainly a significant milestone in my opinion. I'm Willie Smith from the Chancellor of Baton Rouge Community College, and we're delighted to have all of you here today. Look forward to the presentation today. So now I have the luxury honor of introducing our superintendent. The superintendent and I met about 10 months ago, and we sat in the limited corner of the restaurant, and we started writing notes of what we wanted to see in Louisiana. And he said, I have a dream. I said, man, you're not Martin Luther King, but that we should make sure that all of our students have access to community college with higher education in general. And from there, you know my passion, many of you know who I am. It's always been about our kids and our students. So I was just excited to sit in the room with him and to hear his vision and support it. And so without further ado, I'd like to introduce our superintendent EBR, Cito Nussey.
And thank you, Chancellor. And he did say that I had this Martin Luther King thing. He said he also used a couple other names as well. I said to him, you know, just like many of us in education, you got to dream big to make sure that you can push to make sure there's a great opportunity. And I think that our city is at the tipping point for that opportunity. So first, let me just tell you, I'm an animated person, as most people will tell you who've worked with me long enough. So good morning. Good morning. You better than that, good morning. Good morning. Yeah. I'm so excited and honored to be standing here with you all today because I think this is going to be a great thing for our city. I'd like to take a moment just to recognize some special guests. As you know, it takes a village to do this work, and I tell folks all the time, because I've worked as number 2, 3, and 4 superintendents, I've seen great things superintendents do, and I've also seen Greek tragedy. And I said the day I become a superintendent, I will make sure that the village is pushing along with me as we try to expand the work. So let me introduce you to a couple of people. First, I wanted to introduce our board members. Without them, we would not do support members. Can you just stand so people can see? Let's give our board members a piece of our I also wanted to give a hand. I know that you see Chancellor Smith, but if you are a part of BRCC, if you could just stand to BRC, these folks, they do kind of, I would say, the grunt work behind the dreams that we usually have. Let's give them a hand. I also want to recognize Commissioner Kim Hunter-Reid and also the chair of the Board of Regents, Blake David and Collins Temple. Let's give them a hand. If you could just stand there. And any other elected official, if you're an elected official that's in here, if you just please stand. If you're just an elected official, we just want to make sure we recognize you. Okay, the mayor. You know, I was waiting because, you know, the mayor was going to give a special recognition because, you know, it's rare that you come to a city where you work with a, you know, where you can see alignment between the government agency, the school district, business, and everyone aligning to that work. And Mayor Sharon has been just an advocate, ally. We're trying to push for what's right for children in support of our city. And I think it just makes me as a superintendent just very excited because never do I call and say, Mayor, I think I got this great idea. And she's like, well, how does it work for our community and our kids? And she's been there, and I just want to thank her for that, Mayor, and thank her for it. Let's give her a hand. So I also want to say a very special thank you to any friends or partners that we've had to do this work. For too long, too many students from historically marginalized backgrounds in our city haven't received the same opportunity as others. That ends today. Are not attaining post-secondary credentials and high rates of entering into the workforce. Those days have to be done. I told folks it's not important for us to talk about whether we're going to East Baton Rouge Parish system a good school system. That's a low bar. The question is, can we transform our community? You know, when you talk about our community, people talk about our community in a lot of different ways, even externally. When I came here from Washington, D.C., I asked about East Baton Rouge. You'd be surprised what I would hear and what I heard coming into the city. What I heard externally, like, yeah, that's the state of Louisiana. I mean, that's state capital of Louisiana. And then when I would get here, sometimes I would hear about the struggles and some of the things and initiatives people have always wanted to do, but they would say those things would be stopped by a lot of different reasons. And if you haven't read my bio yet, I usually don't really I don't wallow too much in what can't happen. I always think about what can't happen. And that takes me, I take about 35 seconds to stay in that space, and then I say, okay, so now what we're gonna do next. And I have not felt that we have been a city that cannot do great work. What I tell people I have felt though is that the only people that are stopping us is us. There's a lot of expectation that people have for us, and we should have the same, not only for some children, but for all children. I think whether you live in North Baton Rouge, Mid-City, South Baton Rouge, we're a collective city that has so much potential. And I say that everywhere I usually go, and I really mean that. And what I've really come to embrace is I said, it's time for now for us to push in a different direction, and also to help our community to begin to see things that they should have been doing years ago. I don't plan to just make us, to work with us around acceleration for right now, but for the next 10 years, 20 years from now, because we can lead the state in a lot of different ways in this city. And I know that as partners, when you are the state capital, I tell folks, everybody say state capital.
State capital.
You have a lot of people that live in your backyard that you can leverage to do great things. And one of the things I've learned from living in a lot of state capitals is that the power of the people in that state capital, the community to move that work, really happens at a much faster rate when communities work together. And a part of moving that together is helping us to accelerate that work in this space. And so a couple of things I'll just say before I sit down. One is this initiative is about ensuring that all students can have access and resources, and they need to thrive in their communities to earn a living wage. It's important that we don't see this just for children, but also for families and communities. Imagine if you have a family member or a child that can graduate from high school making $60,000 to $70,000, or not having to pay the first 2 years of college. Think about the economic change for that child. It's a very different space. I tell people the achievement gap is an economic gap, period. If you solve that problem, you begin to see resources in a totally different way. You see, one change that happened in my life with my family, you know, we grew up in New York, was when my father, who was a taxi driver, and him and my mother were struggling in the country when they came here, they didn't even speak English. When economically they met this professor at NYU, they gave my dad a technical job for an opportunity. You'd be surprised how we went from poverty to a totally different space. You're hearing about accelerated classes, you're hearing about kids connecting, you're hearing about different environments. Those things changed my life. I would not be here in front of you today if that exchange did not happen between my father and that gentleman while my dad was working, trying to get to have this conversation. And he probably still tried to figure out, how does this man even know about chemistry? My dad only mentioned a periodical table. And this gentleman spoke to him, and that is the history started to change in my family. And the reality is, we have to start to think about that for all kids. Regardless of where they are, whether they are accelerating right now, we can make it even better. Whether they're doing just okay, we can make them do better. Whether they're struggling in our city, they can do better. We have to be a city that say collectively we want everybody to do better, and I'm appreciative of that. I also just want to recognize a few other people who, if you are on the Talent Action Committee, right, with the chamber, if you could just wave your hand in the air, the TAC, just go all the way up so people can see. Let's give them a hand. These are famous partners who are invested tremendously, not only in our school system, but also in the city itself. And I think it's important that people know that the TAC has been working really hard to help push the system. We need your support in this work, and we believe there's some great things that are going to be done. And I only have a few more things, and I will sit down. One of the things I just want everybody to be clear about. And one last thing, I want to recognize our principals. If you're a principal, raise your hand. Principals, give our high school principals a hand. And let me tell you the importance of the principals, right? The reality is principals can't do this job by themselves. I know people think they're Superman. They say, just talk to the principal and figure it out. Principals are no different than me. The only difference between me and a principal is more, I tell folks. They have to manage their community, they have to meet expectations, they got to talk to different people, but the reality is they also have to execute. And a part of that execution is they need support from different folks to be able to do that work. And the reality is when you're trying to expand and push and trying to change mindsets and change for expansion of the work, it is a hard, hard lift. Transformational work is hard, folks. It is not easy. Let nobody lie to you. There's no one in any city in America that can tell you it's an easy thing. But here's the beautiful thing. When you do it, with a village. It is the most beautiful thing you will ever see in your life. Because nobody remembers all the push that you've had to do in the beginning. But 10, 20 years from now, they will all take credit for it. And that's just how this thing works. But the reality is, our city will be a better place for it. And so it's important to do that. One last recognition I want to do, then I'm going to sit down, is for our post-secondary partners. If you are part of LSU, Southern England, if you could just raise your hand, let's give them a hand. Wanted to thank them because they were a part of a lot of conversations that we had. Every time I sit and meet, people say, well, did you just come up with this idea by yourself? Were you just a lab figuring it all out? No, I was not in the lab by myself. I used the partners that were our children wanted to go to school, and I said, hey folks, here's an idea about how you do it. And what they said was, hey, we want to partner with you to transform our city to a better space. And so I just wanted to make sure that we recognize them today. So today we officially embark on our journey to build and achieve a vision for their future that embraces equitable supports and opportunities across the board while closing the gap on creating a cohort of young professionals. Think about our school system as building young professionals, not graduating students. Graduating students are the old days. That's an easy bar. Young professionals is the name of the game. And the reality is most children that leave EBR stay here. They stay in our state. And we have plenty of jobs for them, plenty. And the question will be is, as we keep embarking, is how do we connect students right now with those jobs? Our goal is to bring children's dreams closer to them. So as I will always say to you, as we say our motto here at East Baton Rouge School System is for every child, in every community, in every neighborhood, every single day. Thank you. Show you a little video while we do lunch, and then we'll introduce some of our real honored guests, our young people. Okay, sounds like I have to fill some space. It all began when I was 6 years old. I'm going to change the world. Let's go. While you're waiting for the video, let's go ahead and we'll start right now.
I thought I was going to get to go after you guys ate, so I guess that'd be more entertaining now. Good morning. I know that you guys have heard the reasons why, all the benefits. Now you probably want to know, how does this work, right, in a real setting. My name is Saguna Mayweather. I am the first academic coordinator of the PDF program at Glen Oaks High School, where we have piloted the program. It is essentially our ninth grade academy, and I cannot speak as to how it will work everywhere else, but I can tell you that it works at Glen Oaks High School. In order to know how and why this is working, I think the best thing for those of you who have never visited Glen Oaks High School or don't know a lot about Glen Oaks and within the EBR landscape, probably firstly you need to know Glen Oaks is very unique. It is very unique in that it is truly one of the remaining neighborhood or community schools in this district. Not only is it that, but when students finish from Glen Oaks High School, they usually stay and remain within that community or somewhere around that community. What the program has done for us is allowed our students not only to access the opportunity that Dr. Narcisse has been talking about, but also has allowed us to will allow us to put back into the community students who are coming out with a different opportunity set, a different skill set than what they would have without the program. I don't want to take too much time. I want some of the students that I brought here, specifically we have Jada speaking today. Do remember, please, these are 14-year-olds. They're a little nervous. We have 3 with us here today. Before I bring Jada up to really tell you how it's worked for her, I just want to recognize them really quickly. We've had the program for 4 months. each of the students here and most of the students in our program have already earned 6 hours of college credit. The press conference, one thing that they did not share is how excited their parents are that that's 6 less hours that they have to pay for. So one thing before I bring Jada up, I did want to recognize Dr. Narcisse talked a lot about supports. Not only do we have the support of, you have to have a lot of buy-in from your staff when you're transitioning into something new like this, but we have the support of our EDs, of our board members, and most importantly, the community, because that's who we rely on. We cannot do this ourselves. It's a lot to figure out. One thing that has, and I hope Jada talks about this a little bit, one thing that has been essential in our program is having the support of the Mayor's Office initiative. For those of you that don't know, every Tuesday and Thursday right now, we have Chamber of Commerce speakers. We have many people who are coming in to tutor on the Tuesdays and Thursdays. Remember, our VRCC adjunct professors come in on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And although we have Glen Oaks side faculty that fill in and are there every day, it helps to have those supports. One of the kids' favorite things this semester has been that Tyrus Thomas has come in to do a 6-week residency. And he comes in to bring in the speaker part of it, but also to teach them the other side of college life, not just the academic part. He has enjoyed it so much that he signed up for another 6-week residency. So those kind of things are important when we're talking about supports. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Jada. She is one of our 9th graders that has gone through the first semester of the program.
Hi, my name is Jada Phoenix. During this program, it has been fun because at first we were all like nervous, all over the place. We didn't know how to study. We didn't know how to get used to the college life, get used to our professors and everything. But after a while, with the boot camps that they brought us, like the boot camp, we tend to have, we all sit down, we have teachers explain everything and go over everything, teach us everything in a big group. Because it's 4 groups in the program. And we all split up in classes and we travel in each class together. It's a good opportunity, and Mr. Tyrus has made it really fun. He brings these guests in, they have prizes, we learn about new job opportunities and new skills and everything. And the 6th graders, you know, that's a good thing too. But it's a really good opportunity for all of us kids. Like, we were all sitting here, we were all confused. We just looked at them like they was crazy when they said we're in college. We came into school and was told we in college. I was like, but it's fun so far. Like, we all have fun. We're all, you know, social sometimes. We have so much fun together, especially when it's bad weather, Mr. Foreman goofing around, you know, helping us stay happy. We are really goofing around, but you play around with us and everything. Y'all know us, really. Y'all really do, especially with the coping mechanisms and all the things that help us during this pathway. Oh, any questions? Sarah? You brought Mr. Tyrus in, really. Y'all have any questions?
Give Jada another hand. We say one thing is to, tell people you're going to do something, but to see it live, right? I think the question is, as I remember we were doing this project, we said we got to pilot it, and where are we going to pilot it was a big question. Because we wanted to pilot in a place that we know where people would say, oh, if it can happen here, it can happen anywhere, right? And this is just one of many opportunities that we push through. So what we'll do next is we'll go ahead and get some lunch. I know people are hungry. And then we'll also show the video while we get some lunch. And then after that, we will have our the Commissioner of Regents, Dr. Kim Underwood, will come up after that. So let's go ahead and we'll do some lunch and we'll show the video simultaneously.
Oh my gosh.
I am so excited about the Pathways to Bright Futures program. Students who work about the Pathways to Bright Futures program. Students who graduate from early college high school programs enroll in post-secondary programs at a higher rate and are 5 to 7 times more likely to complete post-secondary credentials within 4 years of high school graduation. The Pathways to Bright Futures program gives students access to their college careers immediately so that when they graduate high school, they're prepared and ready to continue their collegiate studies. They're equipped and confident with the skills and knowledge to succeed in college and beyond. When students start the Pathways to Bright Futures program, they'll start their futures. And that is why we are excited and we are champions for launching this program for the students of EBR.
Hello, my name is Cedar Darcy's proud superintendent of the East Baton Rouge Parish School System. We are super excited about our Pathways to Brighter Future program. This program is a program that we launched starting this year. We started a pilot with 9th graders in Glen Oaks High School. And the purpose of the program was to provide children more accelerated academic courses and industry-based certifications. You see, long gone are the days where children just go into class and trying to figure out what they want to do when they get to the end without a pathway that they want to go into. Our goal is to bring children's dreams closer to them. You see, PBF, as we call it, Pathways to Brighter Futures, is a program where we partner with schools such as BRCC, our community college, our local universities like Southern, LSU, and all of our major partners that help us to get children with college credits as early as possible. So when they're able to finish at the high school level, they are having an associate's degree that will be a Louisiana transferable degree. That degree allows kids to go to any school they want in the wonderful state of Louisiana, and or go to other universities across the country if they choose to. Our big push will be by the end of this year, we will begin to start majority of all of our 9th graders next year to be exposed to these classes. And yes, those classes will be a part of their course sequencing. And I know families will have an option and a choice to whether to keep that college credit or not. But one of the main things we want is to expose children earlier. We believe that it's not about children not getting the opportunity to get where they are, but it's providing children with access. And providing them with access with higher level courses, with a partnership between the college university and our current teachers, is the gateway for children to get to more workforce development opportunities. And we are also super excited that we have business partners all over this city who are excited about this project, because as we push for kids to get industry-based certification, they will be able to leave our schools and go straight to a job if they choose to, or they can start in a job and work their way through college, which will help them get to higher level classes and grades. You see, for us, we understand the importance of access across our city. There are children we think we can provide more through this model. And we ask you to join us as we go ahead and connect our work together and build a great, brighter future in our school system. Children are uniquely experienced to do that right now. And we know we have what it takes in our system to transform our community, our system, to do so much better than we are. Because the reality for us is we're always pushing for our excitement. Because hashtag we are EBR.
certain students cater to the robot, as certain students cater to the drone, as certain ones cater to the Legos. So and that's as expected, because different people have different tastes, different wants, different desires. So when these students come to school, it's hard to pull out what they actually want, because many times they don't know what they want, and we have to be there to guide them, to nurture them, to build them up, and to help them to direct, to get their path in order so that they can be successful in whatever they're doing.
I think students should be in the Pathways program because it helps them build relationships with people and communicate more.
It opens up like more opportunities for me. Things like more options for them to and grow.
The Pathways program is such an awesome opportunity for the students at Lennox High School. The great thing about it is students get exposure. For students who really desire to go to college, they're going to leave here and enter college as a junior with 60 hours. It's a cost saving, mechanism for parents and for families, but for the community, it just brings so much. We talk a lot about not letting our Louisiana skills and knowledge leave Louisiana. And I think it's going to be so important for that because one thing, this is a state program, so the associate's degrees that students get here apply directly to state schools and to our Louisiana schools that are accepting these associate's degrees and for students to come in as juniors. So I think it's important for the wealth of knowledge and skill in Louisiana to stay in Louisiana.
The pathway is very important to me here. Because of our location and because of our clientele, really giving opportunities for students here to accomplish great things in the district.
It encouraged me because I know I'm a role model and I'm one of the first people to get this opportunity.
The first class is, like all the freshmen we are in a program with BRCC. We're taking college courses, so by the time you graduate, you have an associate's.
It means a lot because most schools down here or anywhere else don't really get the opportunity to have a college class, college credit, or anything.
I would tell them focus and let's get it done.
Hi, I'm Latasha Levatino, and I'm a project manager with EBR Schools, and I've been working with the Pathway to Bright Futures initiative. A key takeaway when thinking about the Pathways to Bright Future initiative design is the fact that it is intended to allow students the opportunity to get ahead in their post-secondary academic tenure. We have to embrace the fact that the world is changing. The demands for the career training is changing, and to give our students the best leap forward, EBR wants to change too. We must not forget that the purpose of higher education and training has always been for students to have success in life, whether that success is defined as a great job, a good career, or even a means of just self-satisfaction. With the Pathway to Bright Futures initiative, students will have access to post-secondary coursework that will give them the exposure, the confidence, the discipline, and the knowledge to do great things in life. And it's for this reason that I am an advocate of EBR Pathways to Bright Futures.
We are right at good afternoon, everyone. We hope that you are enjoying yourself so far. I heard some stomachs grumbling back there. It's okay, as you can see, food is on the way. We hope that you enjoy your lunch and mix and mingle, and we will continue with our program. So even as speakers continue to come up, please continue to eat, but keep your ears open and still listen to the great programs that we have in store for you. Thank you.